Thanks to the support as a channel member, James Maples. Today's all about semi-finals, folks. We've got the FA Cup semi-final against Manchester United, who is still top of the Premier League, despite us battering them in the league recently. And we've also got the Europa League semi-final against Celtic, where we're going to hopefully set up the dream Europa League final against Posh, who we left earlier in the season. This could go brilliantly, or the whole season could fall apart over the next 20 minutes or so. Hello and welcome to Club 3, Part 6 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have that stuff I just told you about. Manchester United, Celtic. Since you're last with me, we've done nothing because we did the Dortmund thing in the last episode. So you've had a shorter break between them than I have. I haven't recorded for 4 days. You watched that yesterday. So you have a better idea of what's going on than I do. Why don't you tell me what's happened since the last video? Because I haven't got a clue, other than the fact I've pressed continue 4 or 5 times to get us through to FA Cup semi-final day. So let's do that first. Let's try and book ourselves a spot at Wembley for an FA Cup final. In fact, we're already at Wembley for the semi-final because the FA Cup's dumb now. And then we'll play through these games offline. The Premier League, we don't need to worry about. We're safe from relegation now, probably. I actually thought we were higher up the league than that. We're safe-ish from relegation now. I don't think we need to worry too much about those. It's all about getting to these 2 cup finals and primarily winning the Europa League and getting ourselves back into the Champions League, which no one thought we would do this season. So the team for the FA Cup semi-final against Manchester United, who, I'm just going to remind you again, Manchester United, we beat 6-0 in the league not so long ago. So fingers crossed. We're going with Dragowski in goal, a back four of Saka, which I know upsets a lot of you. Where else is he going to play, though? Look at the front four. We're going to go with Saka, Gabriel, Gascon and Williams. Kovacic and Doyle in midfield. Then Pedri, Almada and Camara supporting Bristow up front. Why on earth is Bristow up front? I hear you all cry, and I cry along with you. João Pedro's injured. Liam Delap's cup tied. That's why. So Bristow, I think this is his first start playing up front for us, or first start in general. So not too much pressure on Pete Bristow then, who someone let me know in the comments the other day, apparently scored a hat-trick for Reading against my Peterborough side back in the Championship years ago, which you lot have absurd memories from my videos. But there's a little statistic for you. Pete Bristow is actually a former villain who now has an opportunity to complete his babyface turn and help put us into the FA Cup final. But lower priority than the Europa League. Absolutely. If I had to make a deal with the universe right now, we'll accept defeat here as long as we knock Celtic out of the Europa League and get ourselves into that final, because then we're 1 game away from being back in the Champions League, which is what we want, which is what we need. We need that money to justify the money that we spent back in January, or else we could find ourselves doing a Leeds, getting ourselves into not a current Leeds, doing an old school Leeds, gambling on getting into the Champions League and then not. And I mean, that for a team that's already had relegation threats this season, that wouldn't be too bright, I don't think. Marcus Rashford has he's not only missed the penalty, I don't think that's even made it into the stand behind the goal. That looked like it went out for a throw-in, which is one of the worst penalties I've ever seen. Hopefully that's ruined his confidence for the rest of the day, ruined Manchester United, and we can now go and capitalise from it. Kovacic dominantly winning a header in midfield. He wants to win a couple of trophies before he moves on in the summer, which he definitely will be. I'm not having old men like him knocking around my squad. We've given the ball away, though, rather easily through Doyle there, and it's United knocking the ball around at the back as we're just chasing shadows, trying to win it back. But sooner or later, someone's going to intercept. Camara is that man. Bristow's lurking in the middle. If he can find the cross, Camara tries to go it alone. And I thought their goalkeeper had carried it over the line there. Something I'd never seen happen in Football Manager in 30 years until I saw it happen in the Streamer Showdown just a couple of weeks ago when Allison in goal for Zealand against me carried the ball over his own goal line. So now I know it can happen. I'm definitely keeping an eye out for it. And I thought it had happened there. It didn't. Camara should have crossed. Bristow was lurking. It's a little bit worrying that Camara apparently didn't really seem to trust him. Camara obviously reading the comment section. Oh, that guy's only got 8 for finishing. Can't cross to him. He won't know what to do with it. He'll pick it up and run in the other direction. Right, we've got a corner. It's Doyle with the corner. Finds Gabriel, and that is just wide. A little bit too high, a little bit too wide. but a good opportunity all the same. United are well ahead on XG, but that was a good chance. We both had 2 shots on target each. So it's everyone's to play for with half an hour to go. And it's Manchester United with the corner on 62 minutes, and Dragowski makes the comfortable save. And now the highlight seems to be continuing. So let's have a counter-attack here, boys and girls. Gascon has the ball, looks up, finds Kovacic. Kovacic to Almada, who's dropped very, very deep to pick the ball up here, playing it all the way back into the back 4 again. And then Doyle gives it back to Almada, who's now facing the right way and has room to run into. He's playing camera in on this right-hand side. Bristow is waiting for the cross in the middle again. He plays it back to Williams. Won't somebody cross the football? Williams, I think, has been fouled. Have we got a penalty here? The referee is talking to his assistant over the VAR. Are we going to get a penalty? Surely we get a penalty here. Have you ever seen these not be given when they're inside the penalty area? You have now. What's happened there? Why did we, if it's not a penalty, why did play stop? Ridiculous. Right, Pedri's having a shocker. So I think what we're going to do is we will bring on Reece Nelson. I was thinking of ways to get Saka further forward, but Saka I'd want cutting in from the other side, and Camera's been our only real attacking threat so far in this game. We're going to take off Bristow, who's been awful, and bring Ramos on for him. That will do for now. And should we fire them up? A bit of firing up won't do any harm. Camera's tired, so we probably need to take him off, actually. We'll give him this move. Ramos is there. Ramos has hit the crossbar. And that's going to be the opportunity to get Saka further forward. So if we put Saka over there as an inverted winger, hopefully we've got a left back on the bench. We have. Luis Santos can come on and play right back. So Saka now getting involved in the attack as well. This is now a front 4 who were all at the club when I arrived and felt the need to basically buy an entirely new front 4. So if these lot get the breakthrough, maybe this squad wasn't rubbish after all, and they just needed a little bit of belief that the new signings gave them. Santos across to Gascon. Gascon's been a big signing for us. Williams to Saka, who hopefully is going to cut inside. In fact, he plays it into Ramos, who's in and can't quite apply the finish, and the Manchester United goalkeeper collects the ball relatively easily. Presumably, we're looking at extra time and then probably penalties here. I can't imagine there's going to be a replay in a Wembley semi-final. So the game is not over yet, boys and girls, as United have got a camera of their own on this left-hand side. I imagine they had their camera marking our camera for most of today's game. And Ousmane Dembele, I'm assuming that's the Dembele, the one that I had for Leicester. That was about how good his shooting. I recognised him. I didn't need to see his name. I recognised that shot because he used to do it all the time for my Leicester save back in the beta. Gascon, with 9 seconds left on the clock, plays it out to Williams. I think this is probably just going to be the full-time highlight. Although, are we in here? No, we're not. It's the full-time whistle, which we're celebrating inexplicably. Talk about small time. That's the most Arsenal thing I've seen since starting this save. Who celebrates getting to extra time? Oh, my word. Right. Can we bring Danny Ceballos on? We can. So can he play out there? Not really very well. He's going to have to, unless we stick Almada out there, which we're not going to. We're going to leave him in a more influential position as the attacking midfielder. And I guess we can demand more. Although apparently we're happy just making it to extra time, which I've never been more embarrassed by an AI representation of myself. Are we heading for penalties here? 15 minutes left. I think we've got to try and win it in the extra time rather than going to penalties. We've gone attacking. I think the AI's natural inclination is to wait for penalties now. So if we go for it a little bit more, you never know. We might get the breakthrough. We've got a corner with a minute left on the clock. Gascon can't get the header towards goal, but Doyle has got a chance to cross it in again. Kovacic gives it back to Doyle. There's still players lined up in the middle waiting for the cross. Reece Nelson is there. Wasn't the man to aim for in that situation. There was much bigger targets than Reece Nelson. And now Manchester United with the counter-attack. And they're in here, and Dragowski only just prevents that from crossing the line after talking about goalkeepers carrying the ball over their own line earlier in the match. He almost did it there. And there's a big deep cross from Ceballos, but it's back with Manchester United again. They look like they're fitter and more energetic than we are. We've done well. After saying how embarrassing it was, I don't want to celebrate a 0-0, but we have done well to hold them to our second clean sheet in 8 games against the team that are comfortably top of the league. Dave, stop snoring and woofing in your sleep. It's an FA Cup semi-final. Can you hear him? He's growling and woofing in his sleep while snoring. Dogs are ridiculous. Is this game still going on? I thought it was a penalty shootout now. They're going to score a late winner, aren't they? Oh, are we? Is that it? Is that extra time now? I think it's not extra time. It was already extra time. We're not looking at that again. That can't happen. Right, penalty shootout. I'm going to ask Ryan Gary to pick the player order, which seems fair enough to me. Team talk wise, let's pump the fists. No, I don't want to say I expect us to win. I want to say this is your chance to be heroes. We'll do it without a gesture. Surely this is your chance to be heroes. I can feel myself saying it was pumping my fists. But apparently you can't. Almada stepping up to take the first penalty for Arsenal and scores. 1-0 to us. Manchester United now. We want Dragowski to make himself a hero today. We can taste an FA Cup final. And if there's one thing Arsenal love, it's getting to the FA Cup final at the end of a disappointing season. Kovacic now to try and make it 2-1. He's on the transfer list. He knows he's not wanted here. And doesn't faze him. What a hero. Perhaps we'll take him off the transfer list. That was a very good penalty. So 2-1 to us, Manchester United, with their second penalty of the shootout. Dragowski looks like he's off his line there, but it makes no difference. It's 2-2, and it's not going to be one of those shootouts that goes on all afternoon, is it? I've got places to go, and I haven't. We're in the middle of a lockdown, but imagine if I did. That is the calmest penalty you will ever see from Doyle. He's just side-footed that in, and their goalkeeper hasn't even moved. It's 3-2, pressure back on Manchester United, and Dragowski makes the save. I mean, it's straight down his throat. It's the easiest penalty save you'll ever make. The player gambled on the dive. The dive never happened. It's 3-2 with 2 penalties each remaining. Reece Nelson has scored his. It's 4-2. United have to score both of their penalties or Arsenal are off to yet another FA Cup final. And the whole highlight seems to be slowing down, almost as if they're going to miss it and it's trying to tease me. The game is loading on the pressure here. It's going to be Reina, who I'm guessing that's the Reina from Dortmund, who's now gone to Manchester United, is it? He's going to step up and take the penalty for them and scores. So now, if we score our 5th penalty, we win the shootout. Otherwise, there's a chance for someone to make a right old fool of themselves and keep this penalty shootout going longer and longer and longer. It's Ramos who missed a big opportunity in the match. He has been the forgotten man as part of this Arsenal setup. He was effectively the backup striker when I arrived, and he's now about 5th choice. Can he score? He can. We have a new hero. His name is Ramos. Don't know his first name. Feel like I don't ever need to learn it. But we are through to the FA Cup final. Good work, boys. That's one final space booked. Now we need to go and book another one. I'm going to go and play these in-betweeny games, and then we'll be back for the second leg against Celtic. Well, it is all to play for both matches going into these second legs. We're 1-0 up over Celtic and at home. Posh drawing 0-0 away against Leicester. The dream is on. Let's just make sure neither of us bottle it. The other games we played, we just kept on winning Premier League games. We are officially... I think we probably are mathematically safe at this point, up to 11th place in the league. We are now above Posh in the Premier League table with a game in hand on everybody around us. There's a very good chance we're going to finish in the top half of the table after all this kerfuffle. But it's all for nothing if we bottle this now against Celtic. So we're going with Dragowski in goal, a back four of Saka, Gabriel, Gascon and Williams, Doyle and Kovacic in midfield, João Pedro, Pedri and Camara supporting Delap up front. Delap got a hat-trick against previous club Chelsea, by the way. It was a beautiful thing to see. Pedri was instrumental. Delap got a hat-trick. And these boys are loving playing for Arsenal. Right, pump the fists. Show everybody what you can do. We're back at the Emirates. Oh, come on now. We've got 1 foot in the Champions League as it stands now, because I've got to look at Leicester and Posh and think we can definitely beat either of them. Celtic are the potential banana skin, and we're 1-0 up from the away leg here. I feel like we are heading for the Champions League, and I would absolutely, it would be glorious, but so full of mixed emotions doing it against Posh, because obviously it would be an opportunity for them to get into the Champions League for the first time in their history. Of course, I don't want somebody else to achieve that. I want to be the man who got all the firsts there. I'm happy for them to have a slow and steady decline now that I've gone. I'll go and manage them again at the end of my career if I have to and deliver a few more firsts. I might actually do that. I've never done that before. I've never gone back to a club in the same save. That might be interesting. Right, we are Still 0-0, 34 minutes on the clock. A goal now would be nice because we've already got the away goal, the 1-0 lead from the first leg. Delap's done brilliantly there, and surely he applies the finish, and he does. It's a 25th goal of the season now for Liam Delap. It's 1-0 to Arsenal on the night. It's 2-0 on aggregate. The Celtic fans are furious, and nobody cares because we are on our way, fingers crossed, to a Europa League final. Now we just need to, for the first time in a week, cheer Posh on in a non-league to legend video again. I know you lot have been cheering him on all along. The first time I've done it in a week. It's still 0-0 on aggregate between Peterborough and Leicester, in Leicester. Doyle with the corner. Gabriel's there, but he heads it just over. It looks like the Celtic fans are squashed up behind the goal at this end that we're shooting towards. So second half, we should be shooting towards our own fans, which should hopefully allow us to pull away and put the game beyond doubt. Don't get complacent. Keep doing what you're doing. Focus, focus, focus. All that stuff. And I mean, this is where we need picture in picture because my mind is on this match. My heart is at the Leicester Community Stadium, which apparently is not where Leicester City play, the home temporarily of Peterborough United. And I desperately want them to join us in this final because think of the views. Quite apart from anything else, think of the lovely views. Doyle with another corner, and it's again headed clear. Celtic have been very solid defensively across these two ties. We're not ripping them apart the way we've ripped apart some other teams recently. Chelsea in the league, for example, we absolutely battered, and they were up in third place in the Premier League at the time. At Celtic, proving to be very difficult to break down, defending very resolutely, and I would very much like a second goal just to really put the game beyond doubt. Gascon's there. He has the second goal. His second goal for Arsenal, the second goal of the match. It's now 3-0 on aggregate with an away goal advantage as well. I feel like we might be there, but as a potential cloud on our silver lining, Liam Delap has picked up a knock. So we are not taking any risks. We're going to whip him off straight away. Bristow can come on for him. João Pedro can go up front. And we hopefully won't be breaking Delap because he has been probably the key player of the rejuvenation of Arsenal this season. He's scored a goal a game since he's been here across all competitions. I've never had a player hit the ground running quite the way Liam Delap has, and we don't want to risk him picking up an injury. But just on the off chance that he does, should we take off João Pedro as well? Get Ramos on again, who of course was the hero of the first leg. Ramos, I noticed, joined us from Rangers in the summer, so he'll probably have some feelings about Celtic. He was a £20 million signing in this summer just gone. It's similar to Kovacic joining Arsenal in this summer just gone. I'm starting to see where it all went wrong for Thierry Henry. Some bad signings. Posh are 2-0 up as well. The dream final is on. It's going to be a Europa League final. Arsenal against Peterborough with a Champions League spot at stake. The two teams I've managed this season. We've got a Champions League playoff, eventually. Oh, Celtic are going to be gutted. The final's at Celtic Park. That means we don't need to fly. Oh, God, we're all going to be on the same train. The train out of King's Cross, which the Arsenal fans will be on. It's the train that goes through Peterborough. The 9 Posh fans are going to be overwhelmed by all these Arsenal fans. We are playing Peterborough United in a Europa League final, and that is going to be tomorrow's episode. There's no point showing you any more league games now. I know there's a North London derby in there, but the league is meaningless. Tomorrow, I'm just going to show you the FA Cup final and the Europa League final against Peterborough. You can't write it. That is sensational. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.